Hey, how you doing? Seth with Air Theater Designs, and we're kind of excited today because we got a new toy. These are the Sonos Ace Headphones. This is their initial introduction into the headphone category, and we wanted to do some intro music, something like Ace of Spades from Motorhead or Aces High from Iron Maiden, but you know, we don't make a lot of money doing what we do. We probably can't afford those lawsuits, so anyways, we'll just talk about how we would love to have Iron Maiden or Motorhead on right now, and we'll kind of get into what the Sonos Ace is all about. One thing also I want to hit on that's non-Sonos Ace related is we're going to have a link to these in the description for our video. A couple of you have bought things through our links. That really helps us out. Sonos ain't giving us these for free. We got to pay for them. So by you helping to support our channel, we can buy these things and other products and do future reviews. So thank you very much for that. One other thing as well is as we go through this review, headphones are kind of an interesting category. You've got guys and gals that are younger, typically, grown up with headphones, and you understand exactly how headphones work, technology, you understand when you can sync it with audio stuff, Bluetooth stuff. A lot of people though, old men like me, you know, or folks that are older, they don't get a lot of these features. So there's certain things as we go through the review that you may go, what are you talking about? All headphones do that. We're bringing that up just to make sure that the general public understands what you can and can't do with headphones. And that'll be that. So when that comes up, just be patient. You know, we get it. Just some of us, you know, don't understand headphones as much as you do. So we're going to talk today about the build quality of the headphones. We're then going to talk about functions of these things. We'll then hit on the sound quality, which is going to be very important for most people. And then we'll do a summary and kind of the pros and cons of these versus other headphones. We did compare some other headphones when we were going through these. We did the Sony XM5s, which are very popular. We like them a lot. There were the B&W PX7s. And then some Sennheiser models as well. So at certain points I'm going to reference what we saw in those. We don't mean to slam those headphones in certain portions. We just want to bring it up because some people aren't familiar with certain functions or that certain headphones do certain things compared to others. For example, B&W headphones don't have loud volume. So when I hit on that portion, if it's something where you go, why are you slamming the B&W? I just bring it up because lots of people wouldn't know, these headphones don't go that loud. So anyways, keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about some build quality with the Sonos Ace headphones. Ooh. That didn't show you a lot, but why not? So first, very nice. So they feel luxurious. You pick these things up, you slap them on your head. They just exude quality. They really do. So, you know, kind of like if you sit in a very expensive car that's got the highest grade of leather, you kind of sit in and you're like, ooh, this feels very nice. You throw on a pair of $500 leather hiking boots. Once they break in, you're kind of like, man, these feel really good. You know, items in life that exude quality give you that feeling. These do as well. You pick them up, they're very sturdy, they're very solid. They've got kind of this stainless steel yoke on either side here that your ear cups kind of go back and forth depending on the side of your head, and this is very smooth. When you put them on your head, they feel very solid. And as kind of a comparison, we'll take the Sony XM5s. They're nice headphones. We like them a lot, but they kind of feel almost like cardboard. I don't know if that's a great description, but kind of like cardboard when you put them on your head. They're just very light. They don't kind of grip your head the same way as these do. So these feel very nice. Quality ear cups. Vegan leather, they're calling it. It's kind of a weird name for soft polyurethane, but you've got that inside for the ear cups. Comfortable headband. One thing to consider with these is when you put them on, if you're a giant head guy, I am giant head guy, they might feel a little bit tight. So Sonos says that these are good for 95% of the heads that they surveyed. I guess I am the outlier, but the feel of these is kind of encapsulating. So when you put these on, it's kind of almost like the world is gone. You're in your music. If you are over the age of 45, you might remember the old ads, Calgon, take me away.
The traffic.
I can't read
The boss. The baby. The dog. That does it. Calgon, take me away.
Lose your cares in the luxury of a Calgon bath.
Where you get in a bubble bath or whatever. So there's kind of a Calgon take me away sort of moment. When you put them on, you're not sensing the outside world. For some people, that's a great thing because you're really enjoying your music. For other people, I know for Ethan behind the camera, it was a little, it threw him off a little bit. So that's something to consider. Again, if you're a giant head guy, you're going to have more of that feel than if you are not giant head guy. One thing that's kind of nice is the buttons on these. You can't really see. Might become blurry right now, but we'll do what we can. So your buttons that are here on your headphone, and that you've got also on this one here, they are simple, which is nice. They are large enough, so if you have good sized hands, you're not pushing one button and then pushing 2 or 3 or 4. The Sennheisers that we had checked out, they had that limitation. If you've got Lilliputian tiny little fingers, that might be good. If you've got decent sized fingers, it could be a problem. You don't really have that issue with these. One thing it would be nice to see is if they labeled those. The Sony, they label their buttons, which is nice because if I know nothing about headphones, I come into these, I go, hey, there's 3 buttons. What button does what? It's kind of nice to know what does what. So that would be the one criticism, and maybe in the Sonos Ace 2, there's not an Ace 2 coming out, but maybe there's a new version that come out, that might be something that they do. These also come in black and a soft white, so depending on the color that you like, you got 2 options. That's pretty much it on build quality. Now we're going to talk about the functions of the Sonos Ace and what that means to you. All right, let's talk about the functions now with the Sonos Ace. Now, if I start yelling at you, it's because I can't hear myself, so just pay me no mind. But anyways, Bluetooth only, so not Wi-Fi, but not a big deal for most people. These do support Dolby Atmos and spatial audio, and as you may know, that gives you the sensation of height. You have where different sounds are mixed to different locations, which was never a thing back in the day. And kind of what that means to you is, let's say, for example, I'm watching a movie and there's somebody that shoots an arrow. So they shoot an arrow, arrow goes in a parabola over. Now with Dolby Atmos, you have that sensation of height. So that arrow goes from 5 feet to 49 feet to 49 feet to 4 feet. You kind of hear it the whole way through. Dolby Atmos and spatial audio are awesome. You know, some content, for example, Blade Runner 2049 sounds awesome in Dolby Atmos right from the get-go when you pop that disc in. Spatial audio, Pink Floyd, the Wall album, you get that through Apple, sounds fantastic. So these do support that. Got noise canceling with these guys, and the noise canceling's pretty decent. We did the test, you know, the snap tests, and hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And it really filters out a bunch of that stuff. We saw that we were comparing that to the Sony, and we saw it's pretty comparable. You've got 30 hours of battery life, although your mileage may vary, especially if you are syncing these with a Sonos soundbar, and we'll talk a little bit about that. These use USB-C to charge, and Sonos recommends that you get a 15-watt charger to just make that process more snappy. It's about 3 hours, they say, to go from 0% to 100% battery life. Let's talk about the TV swap feature. So one thing that's cool with these is you can be listening to sound through your Sonos soundbar, and at this point it supports what's called the Sonos Arc, which in their good, better, best hierarchy is their best soundbar. So listen to your Sonos Arc, even though it's a great soundbar, you go, hey, what'd the guy say? You can touch a button, it zaps the content from your Arc to the headphones. So you headphone guys and gals are probably like, that doesn't seem that great. You know, you can do that with kind of any sort of headphone. But the benefit of this is for lots of people who aren't headphone guy or gal, and you know, you're not really comfortable with, okay, let me go into my menu, let me make sure that I've got Bluetooth turned on, let me make sure that I'm pairing these headphones. Some of that stuff can be kind of complicated. So these are really meant where you just touch a button and bang, you're listening through headphones. We'll get into this in the sound quality section, but listening to vocals through headphones, lots of times that'll really cut down on the, hey, what did the guy say, compared to conventional speakers, sound bars, or surround sound. So that's a plus. Sonos has talked about their additional sound bars, their Beam, which in their good, better, best is their better sound bar, and their Ray, good, better, best, their good sound bar. They're talking about those having this functionality down the road. We shall see. but that's kind of the deal. One downside is you can only use one set of headphones at a time. So like this was something with Sennheiser where you could buy a separate transmitter and then you could use multiple headphones. So if Ethan and I, he's behind the camera, wanted to watch a movie, we could both slap on headphones, cut down, hey, what'd the guy say? As of this point, and I don't know if this is going to change, you can only use one set of headphones. You can also use these as a headset. So if I'm listening to music, somebody calls, touch a button, hey, how's it going, Ethan? You can talk to him on the phone. So, and the quality is pretty good that way. So we had compared that, again, I'll take the Sonys. These had better sound quality to us. The Sony sounded a little bit more tinny, where the treble was accentuated a little bit. It wasn't bad, but in that regard, these sounded better to us. So that's kind of cool. These also have a feature called wear detection. So if I'm listening to, let's say, Spotify, when I take them off, the content pauses. So that's kind of cool. Those are a bunch of the functions. Now let's get to some sound quality. All right, let's talk about the sound quality of the Sonos Ace headphones. So first, let's talk about the reason lots of people buy headphones, because they can't hear what's going on the TV. You know, hey, what'd the guy say? So if you want to minimize, hey, what did the guy say? These are a great solution. One of the tests we did is we had sync these with a surround sound system. That surround sound system, in addition to nice amplification, nice speakers, had a thing called an ESLC. It's an $1,800 Martin Logan center channel. The vocals sounded better when you zap it through these than it did through that rockin' surround sound system. Now, lots of times with speakers or sound bars, the room plays a component. A bad sounding room will give you a lot more, hey, what'd the guy say? But that was something where these did a great job. So again, if you've got a Sonos Arc soundbar, hey, what'd the guy say? Touch the button, zap it over to these. That's a great reason to buy these. The other thing I just mentioned is lots of people aren't aware that you can have where one person's got horrible hearing, wants to play it at level 500 to hear what people are saying. One person's got great hearing. With a conventional surround sound system, you can have one person listening through these, turn as loud as you want. You can have the other person listening through the surround sound system. Again, you headphone guys and gals probably already know that. A lot of people don't. That's another great reason to buy these, to be able to just augment your video content from whatever it is you're watching, be it, you know, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, disc content, cable TV, that sort of thing. Let's talk about the sound quality when it comes to just listening to music. There's a lot of competitors out there in the headphone arena. A lot of people have been doing it for a long time. That's where I'd say that they were a little bit lacking. So they do have really good bass compared to some of the competitors that we listen to. One thing actually that was good is you can get these pretty much as loud as you want. That was one of the criticisms of the B&Ws we listened to. You can't get them louder. And we called B&W, said, hey, what's going on here? We're going to fix it in an update. And they never fixed it. So these things will get as loud as you want. One thing we noticed, though, like we'll take the Sonys. We noticed where it just seemed like there was a wider field of sound, and especially when you'd have stuff pan from like left to right than we saw with these. These weren't quite as detailed as we saw with a couple of the competitors that are in that same, you know, let's call it $350 to $650 price point. So that's where they were a little bit limited. If somebody was looking for, I want the best sound quality bar none, there might be some other options that are out there, but these were just a little bit less detailed in your highs and didn't have as wide a field of sound as we saw with the Sony and some of the other competitors. So that's kind of what we saw from the sound quality perspective. Now let's kind of go over some of the just quick pros and cons and a summary, and we'll call it a day. All right, so now we're going to go over the summary. It's kind of some pros and cons and just no real order. We'll just kind of randomly go through it here. So these are a great addition if you currently have a Sonos Arc soundbar, where you can use that swap TV audio feature, zap music right from the Arc over to these, one touch, no worrying about pairing, Bluetooth, all that nonsense. Not as great if you are giant head guy, a little bit encapsulating, but again, if you don't have a giant noggin like this, then you should be good. Fantastic build quality. So if you really do like that pride of ownership, which don't all of us enjoy pride of ownership, you do get that with these things. Pretty good as a phone headset. They're in our testing, they're a little bit superior to the Sony, we thought. Good noise cancellation, so that's a good thing if you're on the airplane or what have you. Not quite as detailed for music as some of the competitors. Again, we'll take the Sony. We think they did a great job there. These were a little bit more narrow in the range of sound, and the highs weren't quite as clear. Get them if you hate shouting. What'd the guy say? Anytime you're watching video content. So no matter if you have a conventional surround sound system or, I mean, these are, I think this is going to be the best if somebody has a Sonos soundbar. I think they're going to be great for that. They charge via USB-C, charge from 0 to 100% in roughly 3 hours. And again, you've got a claimed 30-hour battery life, although if you're zapping them to a Sonos Arc soundbar, you're probably going to see that go down a little bit. And also, future updates promise that you're going to see some of these capabilities, like I think we'll probably see the Beam and the Ray soundbar capability pretty soon. As you may know, Sonos released the most flubbery app when they came out with their new app, the most flubbery release known to man. Worst app ever. So, thing about that is they are fixing that, and we see every day emails come over saying, hey, we're fixing this, fixing that. So we might see some of those updates come over pretty quickly for these guys. Anyways, if you want a pair, we will have in our description. Please click on that link, buy a pair. It helps you out because now you got rockin' headphone sound. Helps us out as too. We might be able to go to lunch for free. We really appreciate that. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you coming by, and have a great 4th.